like to invite Yoshiko.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yoshiko Maeda of Kokusai Kogyo. Kokusai Kogyo is a private company of aerial survey in Japan. Today, I'd like to talk about understanding the forest structure by utilizing full waveform LiDAR data. Here is outline of my presentation. I'd like to start with introduction. So, what is full waveform LiDAR? As you know, the full waveform LiDAR detects the distribution of features on the path of the transmitted laser pulse as by recording their reflection intensity as time series data. Of laser pulse, high reflection data is reflection from canopy or ground surface. On the other hand, low reflection data is conducted to be weak reflection from branches, leaves, or noise. It is indicated that almost no feature exists. So, many studies using airborne LiDAR data use only high reflections. However, in order to understand the spatial forest structure in more detail, it is effective to visualize the three-dimensional structure, including the gap spaces within the forest. In other words, the low reflection data is also important to identify gap spaces. So in this study, in order to visualize the spatial distribution of the gap spaces in the forest, we focused on low reflection data obtained from full waveform LiDAR. The low reflection data can be divided into two types. In the first type, no reflection from the future is obtained, since the laser pulse all reflected from the canopy. That is, future is the forest cannot be detected, and the presence of the future is unknown. In the second type, there is clearly no reflection from the future, since all reflections are identified as return from canopy and ground. That is, there are gaps in the forest. Therefore, high reflection data and low reflection data were extracted from the waveform LiDAR and classified into future, gap, and unknown. So how each laser pulse classified into three types? First, threshold is set, and each pulse classified into high reflection data and low reflection data. And high reflection data classified as future, and low reflection data exists between high reflection data and was gap. Low reflection data outside of future is unknown. The classification result of each pulse were bundled to create a visual representation diagram, laser pulse classification diagram. This is. And then this is laser profile. Here is an example of laser pulse classification diagram. Red means future, gray means gap, white means unknown. As you can see, the gap between upper canopy and middle canopy around here, in the picture around here, and also you can see between the middle canopy and then ground surface around here, in the picture is around here. In order to express the spatial structure of the forest to two-dimensionally, the forest stand hierarchical structure diagram was created. So first, create a voxel, x-axis 2 meter, and the y-axis also 2 meter, and z-axis 1 meter. And next, the most data in a voxel assigned as an attribute of that voxel. For example, this one, there are 4 gray point mean gap, the 1 white point mean unknown. So this voxel attribute is gap. And using voxel participation in a grid x-axis and y-axis direction as set as 1 pixel. So it means this one is 1 pixel. And number of unknown layer assigned to red layer, number of future layer assigned to green, number of gap layer assigned to blue. For example, this one, there are 2 future layers, so green layer of this pixel's green layer is 2. The target area is an artificial forest, Shizuoka Prefecture in Japan, where cedar and cypress forest mainly grow, and data used obtained by Leica Geosystem R70. The point density is 4 points per square meter. This is the result. To make easier to understand, the diagram layered to DCHM digital canopy height model, and this area is a conifer, and then this green area is broadleaf. In next slide, we explain in more detail these 4 plots. In the case of plot 1, red is outstanding. It indicated that there are many unknown layers within the forest. So this is in plot 1. There are no light reaches the forest floor, no light reaches the forest floor due to the high density canopy. So every laser pulse reflection from the canopy. In the case of plot 2, blue is outstanding. That is, there are many gap areas within the forest. So in plot 2 is well-managed forest. This is 80 years old forest, and then this tree is thick and bright forest floor. And next, plot 3. Plot 3 is green is outstanding. That is, there are many future areas within the forest. So plot 3 is young forest. So the floor is bright, but the density of tree is higher than other forests. Therefore, the reflection feature has become stronger. Finally, plot 4, blue is outstanding, same like plot 2. That is, there are many gap areas within the forest. Plot 4 is a young forest compared to plot 2, but there is a well-managed forest with low density, so bright forest floor. Conclusion. As a result, it becomes clear that the spatial distribution of the gap space within the forest was able to be visualized by using low reflection data obtained from full waveform LiDAR. In addition, it was suggested that structure and the situation of the forest could be understood more clearly by visualizing gap space within the forest. In the future, based on this method, it is necessary to quantitatively assess the relationship with gap spaces and canopy density, crownlets, or hierarchical structure. And the analysis was conducted for artificial forest, this study, but next time natural forest will be targeted. There is an island called Yakushima where an ancient natural forest remains. This is the woodland, and then this is one big tree. So we succeeded in acquiring the waveform LiDAR data for whole Yakushima Island. So in the future, we plan to analyze the relationship between forest structure and giant size of trees in this island. Thank you for your attention.